Hey everyone, welcome to Reverse Homesteading and my early morning garden. So, thank you to everybody who liked, watched and commented on my video which I put up yesterday, which I will repost without the part with electrical things outside. I thought it would be okay because I'd never noticed any moisture on the inside of this little mini greenhouse. But there must be condensation happening because there were some drips of moisture on the heat pads I left out here overnight, and we did have some rain as well, so I'm just not going to take any chances. It says it can be put in a greenhouse. It says any greenhouse, but obviously not as small and as DIY as mine. And even though I had all of the electrical things undercover, I'm just not going to take that chance, because if something's gone wrong and it's wet and it's electrified, you won't know until you get a whack of electricity. So I don't want to encourage anyone else to do that. If you have a big greenhouse that's all completely sealed and everything, absolutely no drips of water, probably be fine, but not these mini ones. Just not worth it. So I'm going to have a look at what it's actually going to take to do the first lot. These are my heat pads here, and I've put them all together. I'm going to have to put them inside. Problem being, especially in the past, we don't actually have a lot of direct sunlight that comes into our little unit. It's mostly indirect light, which is what it needs, but everything gets quite leggy when it's inside, which is part of the reason why I made my mini greenhouse in the first place. But I'll do what I can. These things that need heat in August are the things that I featured on the video, which I'll link here. The early plants that need an extended season here in Melbourne because it's so cold. It's only really about September where the soil starts to warm up here, September, October, and even then it's a bit here and there. So I've got 4 heat pads here, so this is what fits on my 4 heat pads if they're all together. So they'll be inside. These are my little mini greenhouses, which I believe I've grown with a heat pad with these little ones before, but I would need to have the little vents open. And I've lost one of the vents. I keep finding it and losing it. It's under the balcony somewhere. I'll find it. Yeah, so it fits 2 of these from any kind of major store that sells that sort of thing. This is the thing I showed you a while ago. It's actually a kitty litter tray. The heat mats can't handle water on them. So whenever you water your plants that are on heat mats, what I usually do is I take them off the heat mat. Of course, these will be inside. Off the heat mat and wait until they're dry and the bottom's dry, and then put them back on the heat mat. They're usually just fine. You can wipe a heat mat down with a damp cloth, but I just really don't want them to get wet or anything electrical. So we've got this little corner here that doesn't really fit anything. So these are pretty much a standard size. I've had some from Aldi and some from you know where, that big hammer barn place. If you're Australian, you'll know which store I mean. And the kitty litter one, which obviously isn't a standard size, but there doesn't seem to be a standard. There are these trays which really don't fit any better, but they're made to let the little seedlings drain, which is really what they need once they need a bit more water and once they're established. So they're good for the greenhouse once things are bigger. But when they're little babies, keeping the water off the heat mats is going to be the challenge, and letting them drain, so I cannot overwater them. Otherwise they'll be sitting there, and especially peas and beans and things. What I have done in the past is put one of those other trays inside the kitty litter tray, so these are actually up off the base and the water can collect underneath. Have done that before, but we will see how we go. So with this little bit on the edge that needs filling, I guess, I usually just put whatever fits in there and in a little shallow tray so that, again, the water doesn't dribble out everywhere, and you can keep the heat mats as dry as you can. But yes, mini greenhouses don't seem to be a heat mat thing, and I'll have to find somewhere inside that works. Our garage doesn't actually have any windows, so I can't even put them in the garage. Very odd. It's quite dark in there. They do need light as well as heat, and I don't have any grow lamps. So this is what we're doing. At least I've sorted out which ones I'll be planting first. So anyway, you can't do everything in a day, can you? So seed planting for spring will be soon. It's getting late in the day. I better go stretch my sourdough again and put my heat mats away inside the house, not outside. Hope you're having fun in your garden. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.